The title today is Don't Waste Your Life. I believe we were born with a purpose and passion as unique as our fingerprints, but nobody told us that we have a mission to fulfill in life. So you might want to take and have a paper and pencil handy. As we place our hand on our heart today, we realize that something greater than you and I created us, beats our heart, put air in our lungs, orchestrates every cell in our body and our organs. Now you would think that creator, known by many names, would be wise enough to give us a purpose and passion in life. That when we're in purpose and passion, we're going to keep this body pretty much in harmony with nature. Well, that's common sense. But I didn't learn that way. I don't know about you. My name is Georgie Holbrook. And I'm going to tell you a piece of my story. And hopefully it can help you to live your passion and not pain. So at 42 years old, my whole life changed. But I'm going to go back to when I was 35 years old, somewhere between 20 and 30 years old. I was hired because I could solve mainly employee issues. So I'll give you one of my experiences. So there was a company with 40,000 employees. That's a lot of employees, but they're located in 25 states. And their payroll department was just one department here in the United States. That payroll department had given notice that in 7 days they were going to walk off the job if they didn't have a new manager that treated them kinder. We've all heard those experiences. And I was placed in that department. Now, I know nothing about payroll at that extent. That's massive payroll. But I knew employees. And I knew that when we have harmony and synergy and we work together. And so I came into that department and I listened. You see, we have been taught from childhood not to share our feelings. Almost to be threatened to share our truth, right? Even today, sometimes we're scared of who we're going to share with. So here I am. I calmed that department down. I won them over. It took some time. I mean, it sounds like I'm bragging, but it took some time to win them over, but they hung in there with me and I hung in there with them. Because I believe that when one of us hurts on any plane, we all hurt. I'll repeat that. When one of us hurts, we all hurt. So you see that the divine, whatever we want to call it, that beats our heart, is pretty wise. It's pretty wise. So my story, I was working 12, 14 hours a day easy. I hardly ever got sick. I was kind of proud of my health. I treated myself much like a machine, but I was brilliant from the neck up. But from the neck down, I didn't care about my body. It was never supposed to break down. It was like this modern piece of equipment, right? And then one day it did. So here's how it happened. I'm somewhere around 35 years old, and I get allergies. How dare they? How dare I get a health issue, right? And maybe if you went around your neighborhood today, you'd find people with allergies. So there's an emotional component and a physical component. So allergies have a major emotional component that nobody looks at. We only look at the effect of any kind of health issues. And you can't solve anything at the level of the effect. There's always a deeper cause. So I'm going to share my story and you'll see how that all pictures. So I get allergies and I take allergy shots 3 times a week for 5 months. And at the end of 5 months, of course, the allergies went away. But soon after, My cheeks started turning red. And then I got acne. Now I'm like 36 years old, right? And it's like, what's going on? So eventually, I was on an assignment for a week that I was doing this training. I've got my business suit on and my high heels, and I'm ready for this assignment. But now my face is red. But when I get in the heat of the summer and I'm doing this assignment for a week, my face breaks out in boils. Oh, I was so embarrassed. Makeup wouldn't cover it up. And so you're trying to do a talk and lead people, and your focus is all on your face, right? You're just sure that they're just looking at you. So when I came home, I went to my first skin cancer doctor, never thinking that I had cancer. I just needed a quick fix. You know, doctor, I don't have time for this here. So whatever it is, fix it, right? That's our attitude. Whatever our health issue, we don't know anything about our bodies, so we just go to a doctor for a quick fix. You can write that down. Quick fix don't work. So he labeled me with this incurable, deforming, disfiguring disease that could also affect my eyes. Now, in the corporate world, we never, ever use the word incurable. Oh, those employees are incurable, man, or that financial issue, or that sales or marketing or whatever. No, we always had a team of people that were wiser than we were to solve whatever was coming down. But here I was with this label, and it didn't make sense. So I did exactly what hopefully you would do. I got 5 other opinions. They all wanted to medicate me, and they all had something similar to say about this incurable disease. But in my heart, I knew that medication wasn't what I was lacking. How can you take a pill or put some ointment on your face and everything's going to heal? That was scarier than having this label. So I decided that I was out of control. You see, in an emergency for all of us, if we haven't studied the mechanics of our body, know about our immune system and how to stay in harmony with nature, remember the spirit that beats our heart? If we haven't studied that in an emergency, it's kind of too late. And it was too late for me too. But I wanted to study and promise myself that not only would I figure out how to heal, but I would never be placed in this helpless position again, where I was totally helpless, helping myself. None of us want to be in there. So anyway, what happened is that I went on this journey. Now, having been a problem solver in the corporate world made it easier for me because I always knew there was an answer. And I hung on to that truth. So over the next 6 years, I went to approximately 50 doctors. I've been to some major health clinics. I studied with holistic doctors and practitioners. I asked the same questions to everybody. How does our immune system work? If we scratch our arm today, you can write this down. If you scratch your arm today, it's going to heal. So why are we told our body is so complicated? It's not. Write that down too. My body is not that complicated. So after 6 years of fasting, juicing, diet, listening, going to some centers where I would stay for weeks, doing all kinds of holistic cleanses because they were sure that they could solve it, while I progressively got worse. So I've been with some of the finest people studying. Anyway, fast forward, 42 years old. My face has deformed. I'm lancing boils every day. My way has not worked. And now it's affecting my eyesight. So I no longer, this brilliant person, no longer can read or drive. And it looks like not only is my way not working, but what's the next 40 some years going to look like, right? or longer, that I wouldn't have a life. And because I went the holistic route, my insurance didn't cover my way. When you go with nature, insurance doesn't cover that way. So now I'm getting broke also, and I'm running out of money. So at 42, my life changed. I found a doctor that when he came to the United States, he wanted to study the immune system. See, the medical field works on isolated body parts, right? Thank God. We need experts. You go to a knee doctor, a hip doctor, an eye doctor, an ear doctor, a foot doctor, but it's an isolated body part. They don't look at your history. They don't look at your happiness. They don't look at if you're living your passion. So this doctor came to America to study the immune system. And I had 1 hour with him. And I had this big file of papers of everything I had been through. And he took my pulse, very different than what we do here. He put his fingers on my wrist, and he could tell how each organ was in harmony with the others, and they weren't. That I had an internalized quiver that I never shared with anybody because I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know how to explain it. So I don't know if you've ever been so scared that inside of yourself, you're just quivering. Well, that's an internalized quiver. And he said, you'll never heal with that internalized quiver. So you might want to write that down too. And he said, you've burnt out your immune system. You know that fancy job I had when I was working 12, 14 hours a day that I was so brilliant at? Yeah, I served until I burnt my own immune system out. Pretty sad, huh? Perhaps you're in one of those positions where you serve every day and you're exhausted at night and there is no joy. So he said, his formula, find peace within, stop going to doctors. That the effect, remember what I teach is cause and effect. You can heal almost anything at the level of the cause, whether it's in business or with your health. But we're always looking at the effect. So the effect was on my face, and that's where I was looking too. But he said, stop looking at your face. Stop going to doctors. Find peace within. I don't know if you'll ever heal. But you have to calm down this body and bring it back to harmony. Remember the spirit that beats our heart? It's going to win. Peace within was pretty foreign to me back then. I hadn't known peace for a long time because I worked so hard trying to just serve wherever I was required to be. All right, peace within. So I was led to this group of 80 people. They were doing a workshop, and I took it for 2 weeks, where they were looking at the emotional component, the stress, the trauma, what has happened to this person in order to have this health issue. And some people had really serious health issues. And I did too. And I was pretty scared going in that workshop with 80 people looking at me. I thought I would die. But anyway, there's more to my story. But anyway, I stayed with those people and understood the emotional part of it, the spirit behind us that keeps us healthy and happy. And in 9 months to 1 year, I healed, my face healed, my eyesight came back. And I dedicated my life to the Creator that beats my heart because I was given a second chance to share my story, that what our high stressed, stimulated life, multitasking, trying to do all these things, falling in bed and almost dying and then not able to sleep because we're so wound up. We're exhausted. We're losing our hair. We got cold feet, cold hands. Our body is shutting down. And we're not noticing, folks. We're not noticing. So, for 30 years, I've been helping people understand how to come back in harmony and live in harmony with nature. So holistic, we look at your whole life and bring it back into harmony. it gets pretty exciting to watch people just transform and heal. And it doesn't take long because you're wise. You're all wise. And that many clients come to me and say, Georgie, why haven't we been told this? That's a common thing they'll say. Why haven't we told this? So I can teach my children and my grandchildren not to go down. See, if you and I were sitting on the riverbank watching a river flow, it always flows in one direction. And I was taught to go upstream, that life was hard and just serve. Yeah, I almost lost my life. Actually, I was given a second chance. And many days I wake up just happy to be alive because there's really no common sense that I should still be here. So I don't want that to be your experience. So go back to basics. You were born with a purpose and passion. And when you're living purpose and passion, you have health and happiness at whatever age. Doesn't matter what age. You could start at whatever age, beginning again. So you'll notice I have a click underneath this video where you can contact me. And I would love to help you so that you don't waste your life. And I'm offering you a 15-minute session, free. But first, you have to do your work. You write down your questions. And then we get to meet anywhere in the world here on Zoom, right? Where I can see you and talk with you. And you give me your questions, and I'm highly intuitive and will give you answers and also share with you how I can help you. And I'm looking for people that are dedicated to learning nature's way, because the world, as you know, has a lot of chaos and has taken us down another path where some of these diagnoses are just horrible. Matter of fact, I have a joke that even the angels can't pronounce some of these labels, right? These diagnoses. But it's not funny. There is no funny part in it. So from my heart to yours, click on the link below. Dedicate yourself. If not now, when? When you're going to start? You might as well start now, because remember, the spirit that beats your heart will win. Will always win. Will win. And you can't go against nature. Just like my story, it'll take you down. It'll take you down an unhappiness trail. It doesn't matter. Choose yourself. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. From my heart to yours, I send you blessings. Blessings. And when we get to do your session, you're going to feel even more blessings, because I'm real. I can prove what I know. Sign up now before the rush. Take care. Blessings. Thank you.